Fam, what's going on? Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. What is going on? This is the Commitment Watch preview right here on Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much for joining me today. A double dip. This is Commitment Friday right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Could I first get a Roll Tide inside the comment box? I appreciate you guys for joining me today on this fine Friday. Gonna open up the call-in line for you guys as well. Got an action-packed show. Jimmy Lee Baker, what's going on? Matthew, what's going on? Let me know who's watching inside the comment box. Jeff Stapleton, my man, what's up? I appreciate you guys being here. This could be either way, I feel it's going to be a positive day for Alabama. Look, you get 2, you get 1, whatever the case is, something's going to go down at 1:30. And again, look, the actual watch is on 24/7 Sports. They have, I think he's going to be announcing there. You want to stay here with me? That's cool. You want to flip-flop? You want to have 2 screens open? It's all good. We Roll Tide right here. There's a lot of great content creators out there. There's a lot of great YouTube channels out there. Support them all. All the free content. But remember, free to watch, not free to produce. So I appreciate the super chats like Henry right here inside the comment box. Or if you want to take it a little bit further, $2.99 per month to support the product right here on Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys being here today. Let's go over the schedule. At Friday, 1:30 Central Time, Alabama will look to land 5-star Dijon Lee. Now, he has been crystal ball to Alabama. I know Georgia's making a late push, and I know probably a lot of people are kind of on pins and needles, and they feel good about Alabama. As I asked earlier, the undefeated is the title name of the chat box. David in with the $19.99 super chat. I appreciate you for getting the show going. Thank you so much. And I'm thinking about, I was asking everybody kind of their confidence level. So let's start out with Dijon Lee. He was announcing at 1:30. I'm going to take your calls in just a minute. All right. So your confidence level, 10 being the highest, 1 being the lowest. How do you feel about Dijon Lee committing to Alabama today at 1:30 Central Time? Dijon Lee committing to Alabama. 10, you feeling really confident? I asked my morning crew as well. I got 134 inside, and I appreciate you guys. And as Chris said, dialed in. Of course, man, I appreciate you being here for Panama City. Elliot is saying 10. Matthew is saying 8. Roderick is saying roll damn tide. Zugitzi saying 9.5. David is saying 8. Wezo saying 10. Jeff Stapleton saying 10. James is saying 10. So everybody's feeling good about Dijon Lee committing to Alabama. And again, it's 1:30. You can watch him put on his hat of whatever school he decides on 24/7. They are carrying the commitment. But if you want to have two screens and you want to stay here and you want to talk Alabama football, somebody who's here in Tuscaloosa, I appreciate it. Now I lived in Tuscaloosa for 8 years. And while it is the cold summer, we're going to talk about some prospects on the show. It's kind of the preview show. Get you warmed up. Get you excited, all right? I always bring in the energy. And I hope that you can see that this is a passion of mine. It's not like something that I wake up and I'm like, oh, man, I got to cover Alabama football. No, it is a privilege to cover Alabama football for you guys. So I appreciate you being a part of this. 106,000 subscribers right here on Bama Football on YouTube. All right. So also at 2 p.m. Central Time, you have Josiah Sharma. All right. Now he is committing. From what I've seen, it looks like he's a Texas lean. I know we have him pictured right here in the Lank jersey, and I would love for him to commit to Alabama as well. About 6'4", 325 pounds. This dude is a monster. I'm telling you. Look, Texas is going to win some. Georgia's going to win. Ohio State. I mean, this is big time recruiting. Okay. And I get it. The transfer portal says a lot, and you're going to have teams like Ole Miss or Colorado try to rebuild from the transfer portal. But, in terms of like the recruiting, the big schools are still going to recruit at the highest level and still build that, class of 2025, 2026. By the way, there's a quarterback that could be announcing to Alabama here in the next couple of weeks out of the class of 2026. One of the best in the entire country. So I'm going to ask you the same thing, okay? And this is regarding Josiah Sharma. Confidence level. How are you feeling about him committing to Alabama? Scale of 1 to 10. 10 being like, it's a lock. I read it on my favorite recruiting site from my favorite recruiting analyst. Or you're just like, I'm not sure. Hey, Cancer, what's up? With the $4.99 super chat, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here right here on Bama Football on YouTube. I am super confident about Dijon Lee. I feel that Dijon Lee will commit to Alabama. Feel really good about it. Donna is saying 7 to 8 regarding Sharma. Earlier today on my show, on the morning show, if you catch me at 7:30 during Monday through Friday, I was like at a 4. I'm seeing a lot of positivity here on the back end. So 6, 7 to 8. And I think Sharma is also committing on 24/7. Roll Tide to Roll is saying 0. Tommy Tidwell. I don't know. I mean, I have some good friends in Austin, and I asked them around, I asked the Orange Blood crew, and they didn't really know. But T. Robinson is saying Sharma 100% to Texas. Look, he goes to Texas, credit to Texas for recruiting an outstanding defensive lineman for out of the class of 2025. Look, each of these guys who are in play for Alabama today. And look, it's not over until it's over. I get it. Alabama's building this incredible class. You still got to get the guys to sign. Each of these guys is from the state of California. If Dijon Lee picks Alabama today, that would be the 5th commitment from California. That has become a pipeline state for Coach Kalen Moore. Not a bad state to continue to recruit top-end talent from. In fact, Dijon Lee, did you know that he is the number 1 player out of the state of California, right? That is pretty impressive. And then you also have like Chuck McDonald, Abdul Sanders, Alex Osprov, right? Jackson Lloyd. Those are other prospects from the state of California that have committed so far to the Alabama Crimson Tide. What I'm going to do while we wait and while we preview these commitments and talk back and forth, I'm going to open up the call line in just a second, but I wanted to go over a couple general topics, okay? So just to kind of set the stage for everybody, okay, this is how it's going to work. So he's not committing till 1:30. So if you have something else to do, you have a meeting to jump on, you want to go do whatever, come back and we'll talk about it. We'll be streaming through this hour. So don't feel that the news is going to be rushed. We're going to take our time. We're going to do it right. I'm going to take your calls, and we're going to hang out right here on Bama Football on YouTube. No stress. If you guys want to go watch the official announcement on 24/7, go do that. Have 2 screens open. Go support a lot of content creators doing an amazing job in this space. So Mr. B, look, I know you're going to have the 2 screens open. It's all good. Don't feel like you're going to hurt my feelings if you go and watch the kid actually commit. Go do it, okay? Go do it. Come back here and hang out. It's all good. No hard feelings. There's a lot of great content creators, a lot of great companies doing some great things, whether it's On3, Rivals, 24/7 Sports, other content creators covering Alabama football. Watch their content. Enjoy their content. This is what they want to do. So don't feel like you have to be like pledged to one site and one site only. Like there's plenty for everybody. It's all good. No stress here. It's Friday. We ain't going to stress about anything. The weekend's here. So 1:30 is the time, okay? 1:30 is the time. We are talking Alabama football here. We got 200 people in. We got a couple super chats in as well. Thank you so much. If you could just take a pause real quick and hit the thumbs up, I appreciate it. And thank you so much for joining us right here on Bama Football on YouTube. I love what Toxic said right here. He's got the Mamba mentality. Look, I want to win at the highest level as well, okay? I really do. I want all the 5 stars. And while I'm saying like support like the other content creators for Alabama football, like if you have that mindset, if you cover your team, you want everybody. You want the big dogs to come in. And I think it's important to kind of look at kind of this cold summer in general and see what Alabama has been doing during the month of June, right? You see that they're number 2 in 24/7, number 2 on Rivals, number 4 on On3, currently with 7 4-star commitments. We got another super chat coming in from Road Warrior. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. Thank you so much, Tommy. The lines will be open in just a second right here on Bama Football on YouTube. So you have Keelan Russell, Chuck McDonald, Michael Carroll, Mal Waldrop, Alex Osproff, London Simmons, Jackson Lloyd, Micah DeBose, Dawson Merritt, and who's next to jump on board? Could it be the first official 5-star for the Alabama Crimson Tide? We're about to find out here at 1:30. What I'm going to do right now, I'm going to let you guys call in, and the call-in line is 205-850-1994. That is a call-in line right here on Bama Football on YouTube, and I appreciate you guys being patient, calling in. We have a first caller in. 205, and we'll take that right now. Please be respectful. Let's talk. Let's make your points quick. Let's get to it so we can open up the phone lines for additional people who are calling in that want to talk Alabama football right here on Bama Football on YouTube. 205, you're up. Let's do it. Hey, what's going on? You're on the line. Yeah, what's up, man? Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
You know who it is? Tommy from Leeds, Alabama, Toby's friend.
You know what? I was just talking about Leeds because of the fact that I need to go to the TNT firework, like the mega house. Isn't that in Leeds somewhere, the TNT firework shop?
Yeah. It's down there by Buc-ee's.
Okay, yeah. So, and you know what's crazy is I still haven't been to Buc-ee's before. Okay, so I need to go to, I guess, Buc-ee's, and I need to get some fireworks because I want to celebrate, the 4th of July with everybody. But I appreciate you being here, man. How are you feeling about this cold summer? I haven't had the phone lines open for quite some time, so go ahead, man. Give me your take on kind of, what's happening with this cold summer, man. Take it away.
Man, I love it, Kyle. I think we're going to get Dejon Lee today. I think we're going to get that other 5-star. We're going to lock down the state, actually. I think Kalen DeBoer is doing a good job. Courtney Morgan is doing really well. I think this team is going to be really good this year. I'm looking for – if it's not this year, not a national championship, maybe next year. But if it is this year, I'll be happy. But Dejon Lee looks like a good player. He's from California. I think we got a good shot to get him, man. I really do.
Showing Deshaun Lee's highlights right here. I appreciate you guys calling in. The number, if you guys want to call in, I'll put it inside the comment box as well, 205-850-1994. We are waiting for Deshaun Lee to announce his decision, which will be at 1:30. I'm typing in the phone line right now, which is 205-850-1994. Just put it inside the comment box. Rangy corner, 6'4", big, tall, lanky corner. And I think, I've said this before plenty of times, is that Greg Biggins of 24/7 said that he does not get beat over the top. So really, I love rangy corners. I want my corners to be taller, 6'2". Getting a corner that is 6'4" seems kind of like, the ultra kind of cherry on top. What else do you like about his game from the highlights that you've seen?
Oh, I think he's going to be one of them that's going to come in and play. I think he's going to be one of them that picks the balls off and intercepts them, takes them to the house. He's really fast. The way I'm looking at his film, he looks like he could just he don't get beat over the top either, and that's what we need, something like that.
What have you thought about this cold summer that Coach Kalen DeBoer has put together? Because you look at what Alabama has done just in the month of June itself, right? You have 7 4-stars that have committed. You have number 2 on Rivals, number 2 on 24/7. I mean, just recently this week you had Dawson Merritt, who's a 4-star out of Kansas. And one of the things that's been amazing to me is I kind of was, because I always talk about pipelines and where you're going, but I mean, he's really went all over. Think about this: Dawson Merritt out of Kansas, Micah DeBose out of LA, that's Lower Alabama to us. Jackson Lloyd out of California, London Simmons out of Mississippi, Alex Osbroff out of California, Mal Waldrop out of Alabama, Michael Carroll out of Pennsylvania, Chuck McDonald out of California, Keelan Russell out of Texas. He's went everywhere. I mean, what they're able to do in terms of recruiting has really been national, and it's jumping out to me.
Yeah, I think I like it, actually. I think the Coach Summer's doing it really well. I like it. I think it's going to bring a lot of stuff to Tuscaloosa. I would like to get these two pieces, and I'll be happy with these 2 pieces today if we can get both of them. Yeah,
so coming up at 1:30, and just to kind of, if you're jumping on, we have 208 right now watching. You have Dijon Lee, who's announcing at 1:30. That'll be on 24/7. So go watch him put on his hat, come back here, hang out with us. It's all good. And then Josiah Sharma, who is announcing at 2 p.m. That's 30 minutes after. I'm going to run to my next caller, but I appreciate you calling in. Please tell Toby I said what's up. Maybe I'll catch up with you guys when I pop into Buc-ee's and go get some fireworks at that TNT stand.
Yeah, you have a blessed day. All right, roll tide.
Roll Tide to you. All right, call line is 205-850-1994. My name is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys being here. 208 watching. Remember, at 1:30 is the actual commitment that'll be covered on 24/7, their YouTube channel. So don't feel like we're handcuffing you here. We're not, this is just the pre-show. We're hanging out. We're having fun with it. And as soon as the news actual drops, we'll talk about it. As the news happens, and then we'll wait on Sharma. So we're not going to go 5 hours and do this stuff. We're just going to cover the news as it happens, preview it, break it down, take your calls, have fun with it. I appreciate you guys becoming fan funders, $2.99, or the super chats. It's all good either way, but if you're, just a thumbs up, seriously goes a long way. So thank you so much. We got a 706, and we'll take that right now. Hey, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Hey, Kyle, this is David from Maryland.
David, what's going on? I appreciate you calling from Maryland. It's amazing what Coach Kalen DeBoer has been able to do in terms of recruiting. He's been able to go to the Northeast. You look at Latier Brooks. You look at some of the prospect that he's been able to get in the Northeast or in California. I mean, has that stood out to you, or did you kind of expect, things to continue to just be booming past Coach Saban in terms of recruiting?
I think that Coach DeBoer is doing an outstanding job at recruiting. And I think that Alabama is going to be something to contend with in the SEC because of Kalen DeBoer's staff and their play calling. And I think that with him coming in and getting the abundance of talent out of Alabama in that pool, he's going to have a monster to deal with, and he's going to be able to do some big things. And I can see him working with Jalen Milroe, and Jalen Milroe possibly putting up numbers close to what last year's Heisman Trophy winner did.
I think when you look to one of the biggest points that you brought up is taking care of your own backyard. This is something that you have to do when you coach at Alabama. You have Alabama, you have Auburn. And I think one of the biggest pieces so far was, the first thing that happened was Coach Kalen DeBoer being able to land Ryan Williams. And you've seen how they've been utilizing him as a chess piece to recruit the class of 2025. He is a part of the class of 2025. It was really a genius move. I love to hype up Courtney Morgan when he's done. I've said this on my morning show. I said this yesterday, maybe the day before. I didn't even know that he was going to be this impactful. So, no disrespect from him. I just didn't understand, what he brought to the table because his recruiting philosophy, he's crushing it. And Ryan Williams coming from L.A., because, the first thing that happened, Coach Saban retired. And then what happened immediately after? Ryan Williams decommitted. And people were freaking out, right? And then it seemed like it was Auburn, Alabama. And then when he committed and he signed, you saw, kind of anxiety be alleviated a little bit. And now that he's enrolled and he's been helping Alabama recruit, he's in all these photos with the players. Remember, he's a member of the class of 2025 originally. So I love that chess move. And these guys are recruiting at the highest level right now in the entire country. What else you got, David?
Hey, that's only thing I can say is roll tide road. I think this might be the year for us.
Yeah, I appreciate you calling in, man. Thank you so much, and we'll catch up with you next time.
All right.
David calling up from Maryland. We appreciate it. So we went from Leeds, Alabama to Maryland. Calling line on the screen, 205-850-1994. 211 on. We are waiting for Dijon Lee to commit. The official commitment will be on 24/7. And if you're asking why, we can't just pipe that on the screen where there's copyright things. So, and we wouldn't do that to them. I mean, they have worked to earn those relationships to be able to showcase that prospect, having their time. So we'll talk about it as it comes in. So don't feel like you got to be handcuffed here. Go watch your stuff, come back. We'll talk about it as it happens. And we are waiting for Dijon Lee to announce at 1:30 Central Time. He is a 5-star. That would be Alabama's first 5-star that they land, even though I like to say that Alabama's first 5-star is really, Keelan Russell, who's a 4-star currently. But I think when all said and done, he will be a 5-star quarterback commitment. I've played Dijon Lee's highlights plenty of times. I mean, this guy is absolutely phenomenal. 6'4", he doesn't get beat over the top. He's really fast. And sometimes you see these tall corners and you think, well, he's lanky. That means he's not physical. That's not the case with Dijon Lee. Dijon Lee will hit you. He is very physical. He is a playmaker, and you're going to see that. And so I don't know who he's even comparable to be honest. Who would be a good comparison? You guys are good at comparisons. I'm doing a bunch of things, but who would you say that he's comparable to? And I think right now when I look to Alabama's corners, I know Zay Mincy has some size to him, but I don't think Alabama has a 6'4", even a 6'3" corner. I liked Trey Amos. I felt he was a taller type corner. I don't even know if he was 6'3", though. So that's kind of where we're at. But, I'm kind of waiting for some comparisons inside the comment box. Let me just ask you guys, when we're talking about, prospects coming in, prospects going out, and again, the call-in line, if you want to hit me up, 205-850-1994. I appreciate you guys calling in. Someone's saying Sauce Gardner, Clinton Dix. What's up, Jarvis? I appreciate you double dipping, man. Thank you so much for popping back in. 205-850-1994. So this is the cold summer. I love this graphic. I already have another graphic ready for when someone does commit. We're also waiting for Josiah Sharma. And this, to be honest, this looks like a Texas lean. He's at 2 p.m., so we'll kind of see what happens at that point in time. If you guys are inside the comment box and you see more that Sharma is going to commit to Texas, then, we'll run this show as long as it needs to be. We're not going to, keep you guys here. Not too long ago, Alabama landed Dawson Merritt. This was their last commitment. I think this came on Wednesday. These days are flying by. I can't believe the month of June is almost over. 6'3", 215 pounds, out of the state of Kansas. And, when you look to, we're watching Dawson Merritt's highlight tape right here. I didn't realize how athletic he was. And he is, right? I mean, man, he was all over the field. And I love how this defense is recruiting these type of athletes. I mean, and I keep kind of looking, the first defensive prospect that Coach Kalen DeBoer put within his 2024 class when he had to, fill it out was Noah Carter. And that kind of shows you the athletes, because that guy, his first couple of tapes, he was, returning kicks and punts and playing wide receiver. I don't know, Dawson Merritt, he's not a, two-way guy, but man, he's absolutely phenomenal. And then you also have A.K. Deer. He's a guy that we're watching as well, that could at some point in time flip to Alabama. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. That's something that we're waiting on. There's no real timeline. So here's kind of what to watch. And this includes today and kind of the future as well. Dijon Lee will be committing today at 1:30. That's what we are here today talking about. Kind of the preview show, talking some Alabama football, taking your calls, taking it easy. It's Friday. We're having fun with it. Anthony Morris is saying 11 more minutes. Yeah, and we will. And remember, it's on 24/7, so Go watch their content, other people's content, support everybody. We appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. It's all good. And then Josiah Sharma, who will be announcing at 2 p.m. Central Time between Bama, Texas, and Oregon. It seems like he is Texas lean. And Scott is saying that Sauce Gardner at 6'3", 190. Thank you so much, Scott. I appreciate that. I saw this morning as well. I think that Caleb Edwards, by the major recruiting services On3, 24/7 Rivals, have forecasted Caleb Edwards, who is a 4-star tight end, to be favored towards Alabama. This is something that just happened, I think, within the last 24 hours. I think there's some others in play, but Bama seems to be the lead, and that will be on July 2nd. So that's what we will be covering a couple days before the 4th of July. And then A.K. Deer, waiting on him. There's no timeline. Like, to be honest, I have a video ready just to publish that says he flipped, but I don't even know if he's going to flip. Like, he deleted his stuff from social media that was Ole Miss related and still has Bama. I have no idea. I don't. But there's no like official date. And then you have Ty Haywood. It should be TY. So I do all the graphics and stuff like that. So, I mean, you know, I'm such a perfectionist in all of my craft. So when I see errors, like, I'll call it out, but I will fix it. He doesn't have a date when he is going to commit. I haven't seen one. If you guys see one out there, let me know if we have a date for Haywood. Does anybody know if Haywood has a date? Morgan is saying, what's up? Morgan will commit to Oregon. Even the other site have changed their prediction. Huh. Interesting. I didn't see that he would. I mean, Oregon's recruiting at a very high level as well. I mean, sometimes I forget about them, but I mean, they're right in the mix as well. So still looking on kind of a date for Ty Haywood, who's a 5-star offensive lineman out of the state of Texas. So what we are watching, we're waiting for 1:30 p.m. Central Time. It looks like we're 10 minutes out. And Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys being here. If you guys want to hop in the call line and you guys want to call in, talk with me before the commitment, after the commitment, 205-850-1994 is the number to call in. That is the call in line. You can reach me right here at Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys joining me as we, talk about, the news as it happens right here on Bama Football on YouTube. I have a couple other general topics while we wait. So a couple of things that made me laugh. Did you see this? This was on this was on social media. I just saw this. So Coach Saban, by the way, is now making $500,000 at the University of Alabama in 4 cents. Okay, as like a liaison or whatever, and I think that has certainly helped Alabama. I haven't seen pictures of him with like recruits or whatever, but maybe that's a selling point. Who knows? I haven't even seen any of the prospects say anything about Saban. Like, no disrespect to him, like. Coach Kalen DeBoer, and the staff are doing a great job selling their brand. But Coach Saban's still being here. But I saw this on social media. Coach Saban, I don't know when this was. I think it was in 2016. This is from Twitter. He signed this truck, and it's for sale. And he signed it on the dashboard, and it says Coach Saban, like Roll Tide. So I thought that was hilarious to see. I don't know if you guys saw that. Also in the news, you have Jalen Milroe, who is at the Manning Quarterback Academy. This is where, it's kind of the Elite 11 was first in this space, and then the Manning started having their passing academy. But here he is with Bill Belichick. And look, Bill, gives 0 Fs, if you know what I mean. And he has like the 11-inch, 12-inch inseams on, talking with Milroe. Where isn't Belichick? Isn't he with Washington right now? Right? Isn't he coaching with Washington right now? So Jalen Milroe posted up, and if any highlights pop in, we'll look at that as well. I know we're all excited about NCAA football to drop. And NCAA football, the video game. What's up, JG? I appreciate you. Jeff, what's going on? Scott, what's going on? I appreciate you. CJ Johnson saying he's not coaching. Talking about Coach Saban, for sure. Explore Horizons is saying Dijon might move to safety. I could totally see that. Honestly, I was thinking about it when I was looking at his film. By the way, 1:30 Central Time, Deon Lee, 24/7 Sports. That's where he'll make his official announcement. We're breaking it down here, right here on Bama Football on YouTube. EA Sports just released their top 10 team power rankings. It reads like this: Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon, Bama, Texas, Clemson, Notre Dame, LSU, Penn State, Utah. I'm excited about the game. I know you're excited about the game. And I can't wait for it to drop. So you see, these are the top teams. Bama, I think they're with the 92, and Georgia with the 95 overall. So kind of gives you a snapshot of how these teams are going to look within the game, right? If it's in the game, it's in the game. And all the little tweaks and stuff like that, that's one of the great things that I liked about NCAA football was to begin with. It's kind of like the attention to detail that they had, right? And here are their top offenses that they have. It's Georgia, Oregon, Bama, Texas, Ohio State, LSU, Miami, Colorado, and Missouri. It's way far out. It's just a video game, but I continue to see this pattern of like trying to hype up Colorado. Look, I used to cover the Buffs. I know how hard it is to win out in Colorado. So I don't know, how good this team is, but I know they're going to be fun to play with. This is one of the things that kind of got everybody fired up just recently. And 1:30, we're waiting for Dijon Lee, and we'll jump back to that graphic in just a second. Jeff Warren, what's up? Kyle Saban talked to Carroll at A-Day. I saw him talking to Michael. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, he was talking to, I'm sure, a lot of people, and that was probably an interesting experience for Coach Saban, kind of being up in the booth. I remember seeing him with Miss Terry, just watching the game, right? The funniest story still is when he missed the game against Auburn, and he was watching it from his house, right? And he was upstairs, and Miss Terry was downstairs, and they were like quarantined from each other, and Miss Terry was cheering, and Coach Saban was watching the game up in his office, and he was getting pissed because he was like, what the hell is she cheering about? So I'm going to miss Saban so much in terms of like him coaching and him coaching people up within his press conferences. That was like one of my favorite things. So 5 minutes away from Dijon Lee announcing his commitment right here on Bama Football on YouTube. That's where we'll break it down. But the official announcement and the official commitment will be on 24/7. In fact, I'm watching it here on my phone. Whenever it comes up, it still says it's 5 minutes away. And sometimes they say 1:30, but they might build it up. They might talk to his coach. They might have, this is CBS who owns 24/7. Who knows what they're able to do. So, Juice, what's up? I appreciate you being here, man. Thank you so much. Been watching heavy since 2020 offseason. Keep grinding. Thank you so much, man. And I'm sure you've seen the metamorphosis of the channel. I'm always trying to get better in my craft. And, like anything, you kind of just have to have tunnel vision with whatever you do. And I appreciate you guys being here right here on Bama Football on YouTube. The toughest places to play. Another guy everybody fired up. Again, 1:30, Dijon Lee will make his commitment. Kyle Fields, Bryant-Denny Stadium, Tiger Stadium, Ohio Stadium, Sanford Stadium, Beaver Stadium, Camp Randall, Gaylord. So the first couple of things that stand out to me, number one, Kyle Field is crazy. Like Alabama being able to win last season, that game set the tone. That's when Jermaine Burton completely took over. That's just a challenging environment. So 100%. Bryant-Denny Stadium, ever since Alabama made those lights, they put the lights in, and they got like the DJ and kind of updated the music. That play, it's crazy. The night games, and I think the first 3 home games are all at 6 p.m., right? Under the lights. Tiger Stadium, this place is crazy. The Death Valley, I've been there twice. Every single time, it's ultra loud. And the tailgate, like the food, you're not going to get better food at a tailgate other than LSU. Now, it's mean and nasty, and it does smell like corn dogs, but honestly, that stadium's crazy. Ohio State, I haven't been to a game there, but I can only imagine, how crazy it is up there. Georgia, I have not been to a game at Georgia either. Beaver Stadium, I can't, that place speaks for itself. And then Alabama, thinks that this is interesting. Alabama goes to Camp Randall, right, the third week of the season to play Tyler Van Dyke. And then they also, on the back end of the season, they go up to play Brent Venables in Oklahoma, who's also toughest place to play. Doak Campbell, that's an awesome stadium as well. And then Florida. One of these stadiums also that would be difficult to play in my opinion, would be Mississippi State. That stadium, for as small as it is very loud because of the cowbells. It's just been a challenging, environment. I've almost seen Alabama lose, I think, a game or two there. It's just, who knows what's going to happen there. And when Mike Leach had that program rolling, Anthony Morris is saying 1 minute away. Again, I'm watching it on my phone as well. Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys being here. The main theme is Dijon Lee, who is set to make his announcement right here. Or it's on 24/7, but we'll cover it right here on Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys being here. And I think that as I start to look at the prospects that Alabama could land, it's hard not to control your excitement because they've added on these 4 stars. The 5 stars are starting to decide. The 5 stars, Croton is saying winter is coming. I love that because I'm rewatching Game of Thrones right now. And Game of Thrones, some of these episodes are just so impactful. But you're right, like the cold summer, it is here. And it's only getting colder. I mean, this kind of starts, if Dijon Lee does commit to Alabama, I mean, who would be next after that? Maybe you add on Caleb Edwards. And you start to kind of piece together 5 stars in your mind where you're like, well, maybe Ty Haywood. Maybe Caleb Cunningham, wide receiver as well. Keelan Russell will get elevated to a 5-star. I don't know. We really haven't talked about Naheem Oford. But I think Alabama's not done recruiting him. I think it'll be tough to, persuade a Justice Terry to leave the state of Georgia. It kind of seems like he's more geared towards Georgia right now, even though he was just to Alabama and though he did decommit from USC. By the way, USC has lost, 4 or 5 prospects, and so has Ole Miss. I don't know what's going on with either of those programs. That's why, just because those guys committed early out of the gate, I think a lot of those prospects are going to start turning their head and looking to see what is happening in Tuscaloosa. And when they get a vibe over here and they start to see what's going on, you start to see other prospects who are going to Alabama and other guys that are recruiting you, like a Keelan Russell. You saw on, I think it was 24/7 who had a video of Keelan Russell literally calling out guys that he wants, right? I think he mentioned did he mention Jamie French even on the back end? He said Caleb Cunningham. And you're right. The Jamie French thing will be interesting to track because he was committed, then decommitted, but I don't think it's out of the question, right? So we are at 1:30. So if you have a double screen on or whatever, we're still waiting for 24/7 Sports, and I'm watching on my phone. They haven't started streaming yet, so sometimes you put a time. They're probably organizing stuff. Jarvis is saying that French isn't coming to Bama. All right, so let me ask you this. While we wait for Dijon Lee to, make his decision, and it looks like, by the way, he'll be making that decision momentarily. Who would you say, let me ask you, Undefeated. Everybody in the chat box is called Undefeated. Who would you say would be the next 3 to commit to Bama? The next 3 to commit to Bama. I want to hear from you. Christopher is saying Caleb Edwards. Yeah, crystal ball to Bama. I saw that. Yeah, tight end. Jeff is saying Ty Haywood. So it could look, does it seem, but the thing is we don't have a timeline on Haywood or AK Deer, right? But those 3 are kind of the ones that we're watching. So AK Deer, running back out of Mississippi, Ty Haywood, who is undecided, looks between Oklahoma and Florida State and Bama, right? And then looks like Caleb Edwards, a tight end, who's set to announce on July 2nd, who was just crystal ball to Bama, I think this morning or yesterday. I'm not sure. But, if you look at those 3 prospects, this class is climbing the rankings. I honestly I'm starting to feel that Alabama will finish number 1 in the recruiting rankings, which would be amazing to think. Like, you lost, and we've talked about this many times. I didn't think they would finish number 1 in the recruiting rankings, or we'd even be here talking about hypothetically them being number 1 in the recruiting rankings. I just didn't see it happening. 442 watching right now. Remember, he will make his official announcement on 24/7's YouTube channel, but you want to go there, you want to come here, please support all the great channels out there, big or small, all the content creators. These guys are out there putting in tons of effort to cover the teams that you love, create the videos that they really have passion to do. So, definitely there's a wide variety of channels to go on. So definitely please support all of the content creators. Yeah, Raise the Bar. I'm watching it as well. And if you're wondering why we can't just show their video here, that is their property, 24/7 Sports. So you don't copy stuff and then post it on your own channel. So it's all good. Don't, don't trip. Like, if you guys want to go watch the official announcement, it is 1:30. It says right now on the screen, it says the stream will begin soon. So, at some point in time, probably within the next minute or two, they'll bring him on screen, and I'm sure they'll have some interviews. And Dijon Lee, I mean, this is, I think, outside of Keelan Russell, this is the biggest commitment. I think there's been the biggest commitment for this year was Ryan Williams, class of 2024. Okay, 100%. And you look to kind of like turning points in kind of the class that they capped off that class. Okay, people are like, why hasn't Kalen DeBoer landed a 5-star? He did. He landed Ryan Williams. That was the first guy he got. Think about this: the first guy that he got was a 5-star. Okay. And I think that also the turning point was back in the beginning of June when he was able to get a commitment from Keelan Russell. And for all those people that don't like, that aren't in the Alabama ecosystem and are like, well, he was committed to SMU. He's a 3-star, 4-star. No, that's not the case. Like, they did a good job evaluating him, and the guy came out and absolutely crushed it. So it looks like we have Brandon Huffman, who is 24/7's national recruiting editor. He's on here to kind of preview it, and they're talking about Dijon Lee. They have him on a 4-star, but I think he's a national consensus 5-star. And they have him ranked as the number 40th player in the country, and 24/7 has him as the number 2 player in California, but On3 has him as a number 1 player in California. So you're getting a top 5 player from the state of California. I mean, in the schools that he's deciding from, Alabama, Georgia, I think those are the 2. They showed a couple other schools on the list, but I think that it's really between Alabama and Georgia. All right, so they have a side-by-side right now of Brandon Huffman and Dijon Lee side by side, and it looks like he's probably going to do a quick interview and then announce which school that he is going to. All right, let me ask you right now, while you guys are on here, type Y if you think Dijon Lee commits to Alabama. Go ahead inside the comment box. I am going to type in Y as well with you, fam. I think that it's a matter of time until he makes his decision. Here we are. It's on YouTube. They got plenty of people watching. And let's see, Dijon Lee set to make his announcement. It's on 24/7. I'm watching that. I got the dual screen going as well. We got a bunch of Y's inside the comment box. JG is saying Steve Whitfong called him to Bama. Man, that guy has been on the money. What a pickup for On3, kind of in this recruiting space. So these big-time recruiting analysts, people who are like absolutely locked in, that was a big one because anytime he drops like a Fong bomb, right? That was big time. And let's see. And it is Bama. It is Bama. He has committed to Bama. Let me get a quick video up and you guys do your thing right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Dijon Lee has committed to Alabama. Huge addition for Alabama. And you get Dijon Lee, who has just committed to Alabama. Huge pickup. This is a 5-star. He is the number 1 player in the state of California on On3. That's what I'm going to roll with. In Alabama's first 5-star commitment. All right. This is gigantic news. And what an absolute stellar land for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Look, when you're talking about big-time players that make big-time plays, like this was it. This cold summer is only getting colder. My goodness, Dijon Lee has committed to Alabama. All right. So I'm going to ask you to punch in like 5 stars inside the comment box because this is Alabama's first 5-star. This is huge. And I think this says a lot to the rest of the country, right? For Coach Kalen DeBoer to be able to go to the state of California and make that one of his pipelines. But not only that, you get the 5 stars buying into the process. All right, raise the bar in here with 5 stars. Go ahead and put a star inside the comment box. And I think it says a lot about this defense because people are like, look at all these 5 stars lighting up inside the comment box. Yep, star. people were thinking that Alabama would now kind of morph into this an offensive type program. But I think that they're building on the defensive side. Remember this. I'm going to say this all the time. Coach Kalen DeBoer didn't bring in one coach from Washington. Okay. Washington finished outside the top 100 in terms of defense. That's not going to fly here. Okay. And what they did was they went out and they got younger minded coaches on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, Jarvison with the 20 spot, man. Appreciate it, man. What's colder than being cold? Ice cold, right? Outcast, man. I appreciate you. Jarvison with the 20 spot. The stars are turning into ice here in Tuscaloosa. It's about to snow outside, even though it's 105 degrees in the Caribbean seas. Man, what a day. This is just absolutely amazing. Winter is coming. I hope the stream doesn't freeze up at any point in time. Let me ask you, okay, when you're looking at this recruiting class, all right, you're going to hear me do I got to get a YouTube short out here in a second. So let me do the cold summer after Lee has committed. All right. So you guys take care of each other real quick inside the comment box while I get this YouTube short up. Give me literally like 2 seconds. I can do this super quick. Let me ask you, how happy are you? This is going to be an easy one for you. How happy are you with this recruiting class on a scale of 1 to 10 so far? Okay, give me 1 second. I'll be right back in like 2 seconds. Scale of 1 to 10. I'm asking you, how happy are you with this recruiting class so far? 1 to 10. I'll be right back in 2 seconds. And we are back as Deon Lee has just committed to the Alabama Crimson Tide. My name is Kyle Henderson. Bama football on YouTube in this cold summer has only been getting colder as the Alabama Crimson Tide land a 5-star in Deon Lee out of the state of California. This is a monumental pickup. I'll let the highlights play again so you can understand the type of caliber that is coming in to Tuscaloosa. And you look at the talent-rich players from the state of California. This is the 5th commitment from the state of California that has committed to the Alabama Crimson Tide. I guess I didn't really understand that Coach Kalen, and this is my bad once again. Look, this makes a lot of sense that this has been a pipeline for Coach Kalen DeBoer. And Jalen is saying number 2 on all platforms now. Okay, I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Jalen. I appreciate you, man. I was over at 24/7, and they did an awful job on his commitment. Man, I would love to have, to be able to, promote those players. But, man, it's like 24/7. Like those guys owned by CBS. But, I think either way, I didn't understand what was awkward about it. I didn't listen to the video of it, so I don't know what happened. Hope they didn't do him wrong, man, because that guy's a baller. This is a type of corner that I don't know. So sometimes when you look at the guys coming in, and I look at it this way, look at all the guys that Alabama just had come into the class of 2024. And even that transferred out. One area that you really needed to get some playmakers in was the secondary. We all know that. And I think it says a lot about the recruiting staff on the defensive side of the ball, right? Starting from Kane Womack, pitching his defensive philosophy, but also you have Colin Hitchler, and I bet you he is going to be fighting with Mo Lindquist for whether he plays safety or corner for Alabama when he gets enrolled next season. because I think he's versatile enough. Oh, my goodness, that was a booming hit. I think he is versatile enough to play on the defensive side of the ball at the safety position because of his physicality. But I think if you want him as a corner, he's tall, he's rangy, and he's athletic enough to play man-to-man coverage. So, yeah, it was horrible. Too much time delay between him speaking to the other player. Oh, man, that's weird. That's too bad. I hope that he is able to get some other interviews where he could celebrate that announcement. Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. But Dijon Lee has committed to Alabama. A really big pickup. And I think, let me ask you this. For those of you that have subscription sites, subs to subscription sites, do you feel it was between Alabama and Georgia, or was this kind of just like Alabama and there wasn't an even number two? It didn't seem like to me that there was ever a point in time where I didn't hear. Actually, now I'm thinking about it. Was it Dijon Lee who gave an interview? Man, I can't remember. Help me out. That said that he didn't want a friend, he wanted like a coach, or was that Naheem Oford? I'm getting those interviews mixed up. But whatever the case is, I never really saw that Georgia was really in play. I don't know. But I think you're right, Timothy, saying Damani Jackson being out from California and being like, look, how, that would be my first question. And I used to live in Los Angeles, okay? I didn't know anything about Tuscaloosa, right? So I'd be like, okay, yeah, that's Alabama. I get it, SEC. But like, yo, what's it like living in Tuscaloosa? that was my first question. So when I came out here 8 years ago to visit, I came out here and, it's a town. It's a town. It's not a city. It's a town. And specifically, like when the students leave, right? I mean, that's 45,000 students that leave. It's a smaller town. But the thing is, like, there's a huge difference in Tuscaloosa between the spring and the fall, because once the students are enrolled, and if you come here on a visit during a game weekend, it's unbelievable. I mean, you have never, like, this place has so much energy. There's some really good places to eat. There's some great people. And the University of Alabama has done a really good job to bring in students from across the country. Just like Coach Kalen DeBoer has recruited from across the country, so has the University of Alabama. So there's kids from all over the country. It's just not, Alabama, like regional states. It's everywhere, which has made it great. So actually, let me open up the phone lines real quick. If you want to call, we're going to wait till 2 till Sharma commits, and then, we'll put the show to bed, for this great Friday. So we have Dijon Lee, who just announced, and I'm going to bring up the call line. If you guys want to chat, even give a roll tide. It's all good. 205-850-1994 is the call line number. I'll put it inside the comment box as well, in case you guys miss it. And I didn't see, people are saying that it was an awkward announcement. Who knows? I can't, look, the internet's tough to battle. And one of the biggest things to battle on within the internet is sound issues. Just because, like, even a couple weeks ago on my show, like I had some audio issues, but you just kind of have to, get through that. But with that said, you kind of have to have the excitement and the delivery, and I don't know. So hopefully it all works out. I don't know. Scott Stewart, do you think any current recruits that are 4 stars will get a 5th star before signing day? Yeah, I would definitely say that Keelan Russell does. And we got a couple callers calling in now. We got a 205. We'll take it right now. Hey, what's going on? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Welcome on in to this beautiful Friday. Dijon Lee is in, man. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
You're on the line with Elijah. I'm calling from Calera, Alabama. Huge Bama fan. I'm 21, so I practically lived through the entire Saban era. So being able to experience something new is crazy to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I can clearly say that I was not one of the ones that said Bama would fall off at all.
Mm-hmm.
Kept optimism, everything like that. I believe that, by the end of the recruiting cycle, we should have about, I'd say anywhere from 3 to 5 stars,
mm-hmm.
with how many they're predicting.
Mm.
I'd say it would be hard for Kalik Lockett to actually turn down The band playing with a guy he already has chemistry with.
Well, and that's another prospect that we didn't talk about is Khalid Lockett, right? Another 5-star. You get him, you get Ty Haywood. So let me ask you this. So you're younger. You've been just following Coach Saban. You know no different. Neither do I, right? 8 years of Coach Saban. That's all I know. I'd be lying if I didn't say that I thought Alabama would take a little bit of a hit in recruiting because Coach Saban, works the relationships, the greatest coach in college football history. What has it been like to see Coach Kalen DeBoer recruit at this high of a level? I mean, you and I are on the phone right now, and Alabama just got the number 1 player out of the state of California who's a 5-star coming in. Like how and you said that you didn't lose hope. I mean, but how has it been as a fan just to kind of watch what's going on here in Tuscaloosa?
Okay, so I'd be lying if I didn't say that when Saban retired, I was in my last semester of college, and the amount of people that were Auburn fans in my building that came up to me and were like, "You're done for, you're done for." So, yeah, I was scared. Like, the first 2 weeks, I was like, man, we're done for. I was like, this is over. But, no, I've actually been pretty excited. I figured that we would still end up somehow top 10 in recruiting. But when it started going into top 5, I was like, okay. And now it's in top 3. And at this point, I mean, if you look at the entire coaching staff, even the GM, Courtney Morgan, if you look across the entire staff, they're great at developing players. A lot of people hit on, well, DeBoer is getting a lot of 3-stars. If you look at Saban's classes, he averaged about anywhere from 5 to 9 3-stars every single year. Mark Ingram was one. Eddie Jackson was one. There's a bunch of different ones. And when you look at DeBoer, they're like, okay, well, who has he developed that went to the NFL that was a 3-star? Michael Penix was a 3-star on every website when he came out of high school. So it's been exciting. I've liked it. And you can bet that I've went and sent every screenshot of every commit to all of my friends that told me that Bama was going to fall off. They're hearing it every day. Don't worry.
I appreciate you calling in. I'm going to run to my next caller, but really good feedback. Save the number. Please call in again. I open up the call in line when we get closer to football season to take more volumes of calls, but I just want to kind of celebrate this Friday, and we're working our way towards 2 for Josiah Sharma just to see what he does. Seems like a Texas lean, but let's stay on board for a little bit. I appreciate you calling in, and I hope you have a really good Friday. Stay safe, and thanks for calling in.
Yep. Thank you. You too.
All right. Well, we have a 815 coming in next. Hey, what's going on? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
What's up, Kyle Henderson? My name is Brian Davidson. How you doing, man?
What's up, Brian? Where are you calling in from, man?
I'm calling in for Chicago, Illinois, my man. I'm a huge Alabama fan, bro.
Hell yeah, man! I love it, man. Thanks for calling up from Chi-Town. I haven't been to Chicago in quite some time. I'd love going up there, and I'm a huge Common fan. So I've been a Common fan from back in like Pete Rock and CL Smooth. Okay, so I'm not trying to date myself, but that's what I rock with. Okay, so you're calling up from Chicago. I appreciate it. Coach Kalen DeBoer. This is colder than a Chicago winter.
Yes, sir, man. It's crazy, man. I'm shocked, because of course, when you get that announcement that Saban's leaving, you're like, oh shit,
for
who's
sure.
Next?
Yeah.
Kalen DeBoer, he came on, dude. He's just been on a mission, just proving everybody wrong. They say he can't recruit the South. Guess what? He's tearing the South up. They say he can't recruit. He's killing the West. So who's the main recruiter behind everything? Who you think can say who's his main guy as a recruiter?
To be honest, it looks like the general manager position, which is Courtney Morgan. And I think what they've done is they're playing chess out here with recruiting, because I think Coach Kalen DeBoer is the guy who's genuine, who has a proven track record for winning, right? Who doesn't? We've all seen the interviews with him. He's crushing it, okay? And then after that, you have this general manager position who is in charge of facilitating relationships with the recruits as well as the players on the roster. Courtney Morgan is crushing it. And then you have ace recruiters, Did you see that video of Jamarcus Shepard and the type of energy that he has?
Oh,
My goodness, like who doesn't want to play?
Alabama, I keep telling a lot of people this as well. Alabama have not had this energy from coaching staff in a long time. Do you agree with me on that, or am I wrong about that?
I would probably agree with you. I think, look, because Coach Saban carried it just because he's Coach Saban, right? And you bought into the process. But I thought in terms of the energy, energy is always going to be there because it's football and Coach Saban can get you fired up. But in terms, like what they're doing right now is the next wave of recruiting. So don't get it twisted out there. Like Greg Byrne knew, that there had to be a next wave. Like who had a philosophy of this next era of Alabama football where it needed to go, right? Because you see the flash from Oregon or from Colorado or for these teams that, want to pretend that they're at the top of the pinnacle. Alabama's brand itself is at the top and they can prove it with all of the first round draft picks and the national titles. But, they needed to freshen things up a little bit. And Coach Kalen DeBoer, Courtney Morgan, and the rest of the staff have done just that. Anything else, man? Make one last point before I move to my next caller.
No, man, roll tide.
All right, man, take it easy. All right, you got a commitment in today from Dijon Lee. If you're just joining us, I'm sure you saw it out there where all the recruiting sites of the news. Kyle Henderson and Bama Football on YouTube. Dijon Lee has committed. We're waiting at the top of the hour at 2 p.m. I won't take the show past then. I got stuff to do as well. It's Friday, right? Go do your thing on Friday. I just want to see where Josiah Sharma ends up. He is committing. And I think Bama's in play, but it seems like everything we've pieced together, it's probably Texas. So don't freak out. Like if he commits to Texas, like Texas is going to get theirs. That's just it. And so is Oklahoma, so is Georgia, so is Oregon. Someone said that he could be committing to Oregon. I don't know. But there is a new life here, and that's okay. And just because there's a new life doesn't mean that, we forget about what Coach Saban has done. Coach Saban's still on the staff. Like the staff of the University of Alabama with this liaison position. I don't know what he's doing back there, but I love the fact that he's still on staff, right? If I'm a parent or if I'm a coach and I'm like, Coach Saban's still on staff over there making $500,000 in 4 cents. We will take our next caller, 409, and we'll take that right now. Hey, what's going on? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson.
Kyle.
Who am I on the line with and where are you calling in from?
Randy Young calling from Beaumont, Texas.
What's up, Randy? I appreciate you calling from Beaumont, man. Tons of high school football talent in that Beaumont area. It's amazing to think like kind of like Houston, that Beaumont area, like all of the talent into even Louisiana. I would love to see some high school football games over there. People talk about like Dallas, and I get it. Like that whole Metroplex is crazy with talent, but like people forget about Beaumont and the Houston area. Anyways, man, what's going on? I appreciate you joining me today.
Oh, yeah. My grandson plays for P&G.
Yep.
They won the state championship last year.
Crazy. Yeah. How many were at that game? What was the attendance?
Oh, God. Yeah, I don't even know. The stadium here, just their little 5-star or 5A, whatever stadium is nicer than almost any Division II college stadium you'll see.
I know. It's amazing. Yeah, the high school football in Texas is just, it don't play. Anyway, so what's on your mind? Coach Kalen DeBoer lands a 5-star today. Go ahead.
I've been following recruiting, from the time. I've always followed Alabama football. I've been a fan. My next door neighbor actually was held a lot of scoring records at Alabama back until Johnny Musso broke them, and that was years and years ago. But he was my head football coach, so he actually brought in Joe Namath and Kenny Stabler for our all sports banquet. So I've been a Bama fan a long time and never fell off during the bad times and stuff. But when Saban came is when I really started following recruiting. And at one time, man, I don't know if anybody even knows this, we when we were playing in the national championship, we had more 5-stars on our roster than any conference completely. Like you could take the whole Big Ten, and we had more 5-stars than the entire Big Ten.
Jeez.
Same thing with the ACC. There was sometimes you'd have to throw out one school, like maybe Ohio State, and then we had more 5-stars than all the rest of them combined. So it was crazy how bad we were just crushing people in recruiting. And I really never thought we'd fall off. I mean, I didn't think we'd do, those kind of numbers, but, I didn't lose faith, because we're still Alabama. So, and DeBoer's a good coach, man. He's got a good reputation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think we can win the national championship this year. We possibly have the best offensive line in the country.
And I do too. I think the more you look, the more realistic it gets for Alabama to make another serious run. Now that's not even sunshine pumping. Like, this team is going to be ultra good. Now, that doesn't say that they're not going to get punched in the mouth. Everybody in college football is going to get punched in the mouth. Have you seen, for example, Georgia's football schedule? Last year, it was absolute trash. It was the easiest schedule I've seen a major college football program play. This year, Georgia goes on the road to Texas, they go on the road to Ole Miss, and they go on the road to Alabama. Get what I'm saying? You're going to get punched in the mouth. Alabama goes on the road to Wisconsin, to Oklahoma, to LSU, to Tennessee, right? So everybody, I don't think there's going to be a team that absolutely runs the table, but I think what it's going to provide are these teams to face adversity. Adversity is the best thing that you could face as a team, in my opinion. That's why last year, the early season loss that Alabama had to Texas, did it hurt? Did people write off Alabama? 100%. But Coach Saban, what he was able to do was he was able to steer everybody back on course and be able to make another run. I mean, that was a hell. I will never forget, out of all the things that Coach Saban did, I won't forget that last season, because there was so many people that wanted, that gave up, right? I mean, that loss to Texas hurt bad. And I think there's some people that still, take that loss out on, this, that it still hurts them to this day.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, they could lose 5 games this year or 4 games, but they could run the table too. I mean, most likely it'll be 1 or 2 losses. Mm-hmm. I don't want them to, but I mean, I still think that, maybe Georgia's the only team that we play that may have the same amount of talent, but I mean, I think we can beat Georgia, so it's at home, so that's a good deal.
Let me ask you something. So it sounds like you followed. You said you followed Alabama football for quite some time. This general manager position that they have with Courtney Morgan, it's kind of like the next wave of college football in terms of having someone directly correlated to the roster and to building out the next members of the roster. Hasn't it been impressive to see how they've been able to utilize this general manager position in a world of ever-changing college football?
Absolutely, and they're gonna need to continue to use it, because we really didn't. As far as the money and NIL and all that, that's really hasn't been a big issue at Alabama yet, which I think it's going to have to be. They're going to have to jump in there, just like, eventually Clemson's going to have to get into portal. But you either got to play with the rules, or the game changes a little bit, but you've got to change with it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think that the Courtney Morgan thing, that he can serve as a big purpose, with filling in with some different things like NIL and stuff like that.
Yeah, I agree. Well, thank you so much for calling in.
Somebody needs to.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but I was just going to say thank you very much for calling in. Please save the call-in number and call in again and talk Alabama football with me. I really appreciate you calling and kind of exchanging just some dialogue on Alabama football. It's a good Friday, and I really appreciate you calling in. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it, Kyle. Thanks.
All right, man. Take it easy. That's awesome. We got a call from Beaumont, Texas. It's always amazing to see the different, areas of the country. It's really like the show, exploded in terms of like a national show. So when I open up the call-in line, you have so many people. Like, we went from Chicago to, Beaumont. We had a caller from Leeds. So it's always fun to catch up with all of you guys from around the country. We are just set to get another commitment update today. This is Commitment Watch Friday. So you have Dijon Lee, who's a 5-star, the number 1 player from California. And Sharma is about to announce as well between Texas, Oregon, and Washington. So we're going to it seems like a Texas lean. There was someone who came inside the comment box and said that Sharma was forecasted to Oregon late in the game, as you see it here. And this is taking place on 24/7. So if you want to go and watch the whole commitment, go to their website, please. Their YouTube channel is streaming it right now. But as you can see, this RPM prediction, and this was from this morning, was put in favor of Texas. I think it's Texas. I think it's Oregon, Alabama. But just I wanted to see who he's going to commit to. So he's announcing right now, and as soon as he does make his decision, we will talk about it right here on Bama Football on YouTube for a few minutes. 6 foot, I think he's like 6'5", 320 pounds. I would imagine that he's probably makes a run for a 5-star when all is said and done. Super talented. You look at who Alabama has right now in terms of their defensive linemen. They have 2 defensive linemen that are on board. Antonio Coleman, who flipped from Auburn, and then you also have London Simmons, who committed, and he's out of the state of Mississippi. He's a 3-star, but this guy's a mauler. I love big defensive linemen. I think it's challenging. This is probably the most challenging position, in my opinion, to play and to as a freshman, is the defensive tackle position, I think. So, oh wow, look how much better the 24/7 dude is for Sharma. See, who knows how this all goes in terms of like their editing process, but this definitely does look like a better setup. I'm watching on dual screens right here, and we'll see what happens as Sharma is about to make his commitment, and we'll talk about it for just a second, and then we'll wrap it up right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Before you guys go, and before we talk about Sharma and his announcement, can you guys just hit the thumbs up and subscribe so you guys are notified for future videos that we upload right here on Bama Football on YouTube. It's been a great Friday. Dijon Lee is in, and we're waiting for the announcement of Sharma. I would be shocked if he does pick Alabama, but who knows? I mean, this is I didn't seem like there was one particular side that felt like absolute comfortable about Sharma. That's why I'm kind of carrying it out to 2, just to see what he does decide. And as you can see, this cold summer has been absolutely, freezing. And I think someone said inside the comment box that Alabama's now, are they number 2? Because they were number 2 on Rivals in 24/7 before. So here's the announcement. Looks like he has his T-shirt on. Sharma is just about to make his announcement. That should be coming in momentarily. Alabama now with 8 total commitments in the month of June. Will they get a 9th commitment, or will he be going somewhere else? Let's see what happens. Sharma is up at the podium right now. This is on 24/7 Sports, and he's taking off his jacket. I saw a little bit of green in there. I can't see the hat. Is that Oregon? Okay. All right. So he has committed to Oregon. So Dan Lanning in Oregon lands Sharma, who's out of the state of California. Alabama gets theirs, though, in Dijon Lee. And I thought it would be maybe a Texas land, and then somebody inside the comment box, they knew. But Dijon Lee commits to Alabama, and you have Josiah Sharma, who has committed to Oregon. Okay, so Alabama picks up a 5-star, and Oregon picks up a 4-star. And who knows? I mean, they got that Nike bag. I mean, Oregon, Texas, Alabama, you're going to see those schools, continue to compete. Like, that's just how it is. But you get the 5-star, and you get the better player out of the state of California. I get it, different positions, but I would have loved to have Sharma. Credit to Oregon and their staff for being able to, I don't think Alabama fans felt that they were going to get Sharma, even though he was recently here. But I think Texas fans did. And I think if you're probably on the Texas board, and if you want some good content, you could probably go to the Texas board and, see what they have to say, because Oregon beating out Texas, that says a lot. Maybe it came down to the bag. I don't know. But Dan Lanning lands a good one. So Alabama gets Dijon Lee. I hope you guys enjoyed the coverage right here on Bama Football on YouTube. One thing that I want you to understand, I put a lot into this. I try to put a quality product on, whether it's the graphics, whether it's the audio, transitions, whatever it is. My number one goal is to make sure that you guys have quality content right here on Bama Football on YouTube. There's a lot of great content creators out there covering Alabama football. covering college football. Please support them on YouTube. Give them a thumbs up. Watch their shows. And I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me, or whether you guys called in today from Beaumont, from Leeds to Chicago. It's all good. I really appreciate you guys. And I hope you have a blessed Friday. Stay tuned to Bama Football on YouTube as news happens. Thank you so much for giving me an hour of your time today right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Congratulations to Deon Lee for committing to the University of Alabama, and congratulations to Josiah Sharma for committing to Oregon. Such an amazing time in their young lives, and I always love that. I mean, I can't imagine how excited their family members are about seeing their children commit to these major universities. So props to Sharma and props to Deon Lee. Hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your Friday. Stay tuned to Bama Football on YouTube. As news happens, I got you covered. Thank you so much for allowing me to do what I love to do, which is create Alabama football content right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Have a beautiful day, fam, and I'll be back on the next video right here.